is the WBO ordering the Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter fight. Now, do you think Terence Crawford is going to vacate his belt like Canelo Alvarez did?
I never heard of a pound number one, vacating his belt despite the best of his division. So, no, it's like you said already. He's been trying to get one of these big fights for years. He was trying to go after the Pacquiao fight. That fight couldn't get made. And now he has the opportunity to get the fight with Shawn Porter. And based off of his response after the WBO ordering this fight, he's game. Then it's not vacating at all. After all, that comment he made pretty much proves that he's more than interested in wanting to fight Shawn Porter. I saw Shawn Porter's response, but I didn't understand why he deleted it.
I could guarantee you this. One thing Terence Crawford won't do is vacate his belt to his mandatory the way Canelo Alvarez did, the way Lomachenko did. That's one thing Terence won't do. Terence is a real champion. If you are a real champion, you will not vacate your title in order to avoid a tough legacy mandatory fight like a Charlo, Devin Haney, or even a Shawn Porter for a Terence Crawford case. In fact, he already made it clear that he's ready to show the world why he's pound for pound number one. And Shawn Porter, he did tweet that I'm surprised that they actually ordered the fight. What's your thoughts on that? Why was he surprised that the WBO ordered the fight if he was the mandatory?
Probably one, because he lost his top spot to Virgil Ortiz, and two, he was never the one who ordered this fight. He didn't send in a request. The WBO did this personally, and as we saw from previous interviews, it looked as if Shawn Porter had moved on from fighting Terence Crawford and was looking to seek other opponents such as Jamal James for the WBO regular title. So I don't think he had any idea of facing Terence Crawford next, at least based off of his reaction.
Why didn't Shawn, in your opinion, call the WBO to question why he lost his mandatory if he lost it to begin with? Because apparently he never lost his mandatory position. But if he was under the impression that he actually lost his mandatory position because he was dropped from the rankings to number 2 from number 1 and was replaced by Virgil Ortiz, how come he didn't take it upon himself to call the WBO to question why he lost his mandatory position if that was the case?
I don't know. Like, the thing is, Shawn Porter, what he's been saying, his actions haven't been matching his words. Because from the way Shawn Porter's been talking for these past few months, everybody's under the assumption that Shawn Porter really wants to get this Terence Crawford fight. But he's said everything right, but he hasn't done everything right. He didn't activate his mandatory position. And when he lost it, he didn't call the WBO. He went on his podcast and discussed it and said he was surprised that he lost his position. But at the same time, he didn't talk about how he went there to discuss with the WBO as to why he lost that. So I was really surprised. It sounded, when it comes to Terence Crawford, he doesn't go into a lot of detail about this. He says all the right things, but he doesn't do any action. I don't know. It doesn't sound like Shawn Porter really wanted this fight as much as he tells the public he did.
There's a lot of Terence Crawford detractors on my videos. They keep saying Shawn Porter have been calling out Terence Crawford for years. And Terence is the one that's been avoiding Shawn Porter. But now we see it playing out differently. We see Shawn Porter not being so positive about the fight. We don't know if he's getting cold feet or not. I think he's going to take the fight because he backed up to a corner. Well, he at least backed himself up to a corner. So I don't see why the fight's not going to happen for his biggest opportunity so far and the biggest payday against pound for pound number 1. But for the Crawford's detractors that continue to say Shawn Porter have been calling out Crawford for years. Wasn't Ryan calling out Tank for years? Nobody said, oh, yeah, Tank is avoiding Ryan. Ryan been calling him out for years. Because when it came down to it, we saw Ryan pulled anxiety. Even Teofimo Lopez, when he beat Lomachenko, he said, I'm going to fight Devin Haney next. And what happened with that? We didn't see Teofimo fight Devin Haney next. He fought Composers. Even Charlo, like I said before, Charlo was claiming he going to break Benavidez's neck and he going to move up and knock him out. When Benavidez called him out and put a date on it, Charlo started backpedaling. So if Shawn Porter really wanted to fight like he claimed in the media, I never got the answer to this question from Shawn Porter or his fans or Terence Crawford detractors. How come Shawn Porter never petitioned to fight Terence Crawford as a mandatory, since he's getting a 60-40 split, which that's a championship split, not a mandatory?
Well, you're not going to get much advantage from me because I don't know why he didn't do that. Because, like, when Shawn Porter always gets asked this question, he always likes to say that there's behind-the-scenes business that the fans don't know about, that we don't know about. Try to talk about how activating or mandatory, don't know if that's a real thing. Like, he was just beating around the bush. He couldn't give a straight answer.
Do you think Terence Crawford is going to vacate his belt to his tough mandatory Shawn Porter the way Loma and Canelo Alvarez did to Devin and Charlo?
I want to say no, but I have like a really like weird feeling that he would.
Terence, he already accepted the fight. He said, I can't wait. That's what I've been begging for. I've been begging for an elite fighter to fight me, and now Shawn Porter is being forced to fight me. So come fight night, I'm going to show the whole world why I'm pound for pound #1. Be ready. So does that sound like him vacating the belt in your opinion?
No, definitely not.
How did you choose Lomachenko? Because
I did not choose him. He requested, Canelo requested. So we sent out a vote and we analyzed his history.
Ooh, Canelo and Lomachenko requested?
Absolutely.
Ooh, you just made headlines.
Lomachenko.
You just made headlines.
Lomachenko, top rank, requested. And let me tell you, we analyzed the request. Top of the top.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt. It's not a championship. It's a designation given to...
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I took up the wall. I took up the wall.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.